Hi, this is Augazon, and today I selected 5 B-sides for electronic beats. To me, it was very difficult to select 5 tracks because I have so many that I really love. So I decided to really pick tracks that have impacted me and that symbolize a mark in my career and in my path. And let's start chronologically. So the first record that I picked for this one is Grad U. Grad U is the artist. It's a Lithuanian artist. And this record is really special to me because it was one of the first records that I actually bought on Discogs. So this takes me back all the way before I even started to DJ. And when I really went into this deep hole of electronic music, I started with dub techno mostly. So I was listening to a lot of Basic Channel, all the Wax, the Shed stuff, Peak Shift, and so on. And this record also popped up. So Red Scale, there's also Grayscale, but Red Scale is one of the sub-labels. And it's the first record that I bought that was marbled. So it's a very pretty record. I don't know if you can see it. And this really symbolizes this period in my life where I was just going like in a wormhole, listening to dub techno for days and nights. And what I really love about this record is that it really embodies the spirit of dub techno. So it's slow, it takes its time, and it's also something that I find back in my sets, this idea of being patient and patience as a whole. And at the beginning it just feels like a loop, but then progressively there's some elements that join the track and it just becomes something that is just mind-blowing in my opinion. And I selected this one. I used to listen to the A side a lot, so that's the F4, but today I'm presenting the F3. So the second record I selected, fast forward, still in my Amsterdam days, is when I really discovered clubbing and nightlife as I know it today. And that happened in a club that I really hold close and very dear to my heart, namely Trouw. And that's the first time where I really went on a bender and discovered this really submerging yourself in electronic music for days. And I remember going to Trouw on an Imprint weekender, and Sandrine was playing and Ben Sims was playing. And for that era in my life, playing a peak time slot didn't mean going harder, faster, better, but it meant really taking your time and playing like at around 100, 32 to 35 BPM. The tracks had a lot of bass lines, and you could create so much momentum and so much climax by playing tracks that don't necessarily have this hand in the air approach, but still have such a like driving groove to it. And one track that to me really perfectly represents this is this one from Stefan Vincent. The EP is called Elephant's Foot, and the track is called Arrow. And it starts with a bass line, even though it's only 2 seconds, but the bass line is like the main element in the track. And it just goes like, and then the kick hits. And it's just so nice how this resonates on a sub in a big sound system club night. And I don't know, this track just for me projects me back onto the dance floor of Trouw. Also there's some bleepy element, and this is like spheric ambient kind of sound that comes and really creates this tension and climax. And yes, this is why I chose this B-side as my second pick. The third track that I picked for today was after that my beloved Trau closed. There was kind of a void in my life thinking, okay, where do I go now? Where do I go clubbing? And that's also when I discovered the Berlin scene, the Berlin nightlife. So obviously I came once every month, actually. At one point, it became so frequent, came with my friends, and we just jumped on a Flixbus, came to Berlin, partied, went back to Amsterdam. And that's also where I discovered Berghain and Panorama Bar, and it has obviously left a big impact on me as a person, but also as an artist now. But one thing I would always do when I go to Berghain, I would bring a souvenir, a physical souvenir, in addition to the memories that I made. And at the wardrobe, you can actually buy some records from Osculton. And I remember very vividly one time that I came to Berlin, I bought this one, Panorama Bar, Part 06, Part 1 and Part 2. It's actually from a mixtape compilation from Ryan Elliott. And to me, this is, and I'm not saying this because I'm also now very close friends with Ryan, but this set had such an impact on me. It's, to me, one of the best house sets that has ever been released, hands down. And I was just so excited to know that the tracks were also available on this comp. So I bought them and I went back my Flixbus to Amsterdam, and I remember being sleep deprived that I forgot them in the overhead compartment of the Flixbus. And I was calling them, sending them emails, weeping, crying. I was so upset because I was so happy to finally have both copies. But of course they never found them. So I had to go back. So I went back, bought them again. And that's why this is my pick for today. I mean, it was really not so difficult to pick which track because they're all really good. But I went for the Part 1. It's from Borrowed Identity, Leave Me. And like the whole mix, to me, this is really a track that is just so, it really embodies the spirit of Panorama Bar. It is elegant, timeless, has like this chordy vibe, but also a sexy vocal, and it's just perfect. So that's my pick for my Berlin days. The next record that I picked is another Amsterdam memory of mine that is also living rent-free in my head. A very vivid memory of this moment. When the Trau closed, there was a little gap in between where there was not really a go-to club where we'd go every weekend. So there was, but then the school opened. And the school was a different vibe, but it's really where I discovered my love for techno, because it has this like super dark dungeon feeling, the basement. And I've seen the most incredible acts, and it had really inspired me, and still thinking about it still does inspire me. And I remember that one time I was there with my two best friends at the time, and Makam was playing, and he was playing his own production, and that's the track that I picked today. Is Talisman, Mars Wars. And I mean, I remember hearing it for the first time. It just links to a memory that is so vivid, and it's just special to me. It's very percussive, like almost all of his production, percussive, very rhythmic, but it's very techno. And I remember we were in the basement and he was playing, and it was like the last 2 or 3 hours of a set, and it was so dark you didn't see anything. Then suddenly you could see this like hue light lighting up behind him, and you could see these like dancing figures, and then he would drop this track. And I mean, even talking about it, I get goosebumps. It was such a key moment. And ever since I bought it once, and it was super scratchy because it was an old record, so I tried to play it on multiple occasions, but it was never good enough. So I made a dubplate once because it was so expensive at one point. Same thing, scratched really quickly. I was like, oh, when is the repress coming? And then suddenly, finally, it got repressed a few years ago, and I bought like 2 or 3 copies just in case, because I know I will play it. So I play this a lot when I play peak time sets, because mostly I just want to hear it myself. And it just has this very techno feel to it, but also this weird whir, like a creature like saying something, blowing it in your ear, and then there's this like it's perfect. So yeah, if I play this in the club, that's the moment that I will probably lose my shit myself. The last record that I picked today is very representative for my Berlin phase of my life, because when I moved here, I had the opportunity to work with amazing artists and producers, and it's been very fruitful and very inspiring to me. And one of them that I had the chance to work with was Marcel Dettmann. We shared the booth a couple of times, and also, what was it last year? Last year, he kind of hit me up and he was like, Natalie, come to the studio, let's have some fun together. Went to the studio, went through some tracks that he was making for an album. And then he's like, this track feels like it needs something. What about you record a vocal? So I recorded a vocal for the track. We kind of played around, put some effects on it. Didn't really sound like my voice so much, but it was just fun to play with it. And then we played together at Fabric last year, and I did the opening and he did the closing. And very Natalie fashion, I stayed till the closing after I played the opening. And then I was on the dance floor and I was like, wait a second, I recognize this track. What is this again? And then I suddenly hear the voice and I'm like, oh, that's me. That's my own voice. And it was so strange to hear it on a huge sound system, like blasting with Fabric, being like, wow, that's crazy. I've never had this experience before. So I was very thankful that I stayed, but also very thankful that we did it in the first place. And that record just came out last year on K7, so late last year. It's from his live set, My Own Shadow. And the track is called Without a Cause. So yeah, it goes straight to the kick, very Marcel Dettmann style. And it's not the track that you usually hear and you think, oh, this is a primetime banger. But if you do it like he does it, and not many people can do it like he does it, but he just managed to like intertwine it in a way that it felt like really like a moment track, and people went completely crazy. So yeah, I really like this, and it's also special to hold the record in my hands with my vocals on it.
Love that's pure, without objection. Unconditional, without cause. That's what matters, that's our clause. No pressure, no force, just pure love. Unconditional, that's what we speak of. Unconditional, without the cause.
So these are the 5 B-sides that I picked for Electronic Beats. This is Agazon. Thanks so much for watching.